Do you have to use both or one? Are we online? Wow. Okay. Seems like all of you are online. Okay, so welcome everybody. Is this the first time we are having from the Gompa? Second time, okay. So this is the second time webcast teaching. We are doing it from Serenity Ridge in Virginia, US. This is our annual summer retreat. So we have been doing 3 weeks summer retreat last 20 years, and this is the 20th summer retreat here in Virginia. And so before I will just go on, I would like to start with the Guru Yoga one time and the Inner Refuge prayer. This is how we have been starting all our sessions here at the retreat. So we'll do all group here in the Gompa, and so those you know, you can participate with us, and those you don't know, you can silently participate with us. Okay? Just for a moment, trying to connect with the lineage masters. Feel their presence, feel their blessings, feel their blessing coming down through all the masters. Coming in you, feel that chain of unbroken lineage. Feel that chain of unbroken transmission. Feel that chain of unbroken warmth and blessings. As we say, the Master has just walked from his seat. You can touch the seat, you feel the warmth. It's here. It's in us. It's in this moment. Feel and trust that. Okay. Now we will do the inner refuge prayers. First we will do the first refuge, the body of emptiness, the Dharmakaya, the unbounded sacred space within us. So through the door of the stillness of your body, we're trying to connect with that unbounded sacred space within us, which is Dharmakaya. So as we sing the prayer, just open your heart, focus in this moment in your body, feel the stillness, and gradually through that stillness be aware and connect with that unbounded sacred space within you. If you fully feel it, that openness, that's the first inner refuge. If you don't feel it, that you are going through a lot of challenges, pain this moment, you cannot feel it, trust it's there, find the support with that stillness, and just trust. Mandala, one's own body, the source of all positive quality without exception, is the expanse within 3 channels and 5 chakras. I take refuge in this body of emptiness. Maintain your attention to your body and feel the stillness. Gradually, through this deep stillness, be aware the unbounded sacred space. It's like a clear, without any clouds. It's like a clear sky in the desert without any clouds. Just connect, recognize it's like experience of finding a mother by a child who have lost a mother for a long time. That recognition. It's like experience like a being with a best friend. Inner friend, a reliable friend. It's like a being at home, sense of freedom, comfort, ease, safe, familiarity, but it's within you. The experience that you're having right this moment, it's always there. Without somebody leading the meditation, without right kind of environment, even some situation with the challenging moments, it's always there. Sometimes it's easier to connect, sometimes it's harder to connect, but its presence, it never goes away. Also just feel this sense of that globally we are here in Virginia, in US, and all of you participating from all over the world. We are just connected. This distance of space and time, it's not affecting on oneness in our heart. And feel that. The collective presence of that sacred space. Second refuge prayer. Dhamma
rapsande Majagadhanam Gelon Ajagola Jazo. Are completely clear by the wisdom wind, revealing the unelaborated primordial pure expanse of the sky. I take refuge in this body of it. Just hear the silence, listen to that inner silence. That silence in the environment, that silence in your body, that silence in every cell, every running bloodstream, every movement in your body. Just listen and hear that deep silence, comforting, ease, resting. There's a deep sense of a peace. It's like a water. If you don't shake it, like a pond or river, if you don't shake it, if you leave it, gradually all this dust, all the stone, everything just settles down, everything just moves away, and gradually the water becomes clearer, 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 and becomes crystal clear in some point. That clarity arises, absence of those movement, presence of those resting, allowing. So internally, as you hear the silence, listen to the silence, be in that silence, rest in that silence, gradually all the anxiety, stress, tension just dissipates, and gradually a clarity, awareness, a wakefulness arises in that deep silence, and recognize and connect. Recognize that awareness. Connect with that awareness. Be aware of that awareness. When it arises, it clears the inner darkness. It clears those anxiety. It clears those confusion and pain. just pure, clear, sacred presence of the sacred awareness. Third inner refuge. By wisdom light, rays from non-dual sphere of light emanate, clear in the webs of the darkness of ignorance. I take refuge in this body of great bliss. Be open and spacious in your heart and continuously maintain connection to that unbounded space and infinite awareness. Gradually be aware in the union of that space and awareness. If the space is clear, awareness is illuminate, then there is a sense of warmth. Union, it's bliss. There is a sense of warmth, a bliss. Just feel that. We feel that kind of warmth in many, many connections. We feel when you really connect with the nature, when you connect with the fire, the air, water, the earth. We feel warmth when we connect with each other. We feel the warmth when we connect with ourselves. But this connection between unbounded space and infinite awareness is the most sacred connection, most sacred union. Here we can feel most sacred a warmth and bliss, internal warmth and bliss. That is where we are taking our refuge, which means we are trying to be aware, connect internally. Just feel that union and warmth. Also feel the connection between all of us this moment. It's a moment, a great opportunity for all of us in that space, in that awareness, in that warmth, to feel this collective connectedness. Beyond time, space, allow it. Here, there is a special support for each one of you, for all of us. Be aware of that support, rather than trying too hard your own. Allow all this blessing to affect, to connect. Just allow that connection. Be aware of that connection. It's already here. Okay. Okay, so welcome everybody. Maybe Paul, you want to say something about people from the other side?
We have about 230 computers
Okay.
around the world who are joining us right now. And we have people from Germany, Poland, France, Finland, Romania, Russia, Spain, Brazil, Switzerland, Mexico, Canada, Serbia, Netherlands. And we have Hawaii, Texas, Iowa, Oregon, Florida. Those are just the people who are registered with the chat. So there are a lot of people in places that we don't know about.
Okay.
A few minutes.
Thank you. So I just wanted to say a few words. First of all, I wanted to kind of welcome in this a cyber space, a sacred cyber space. You know, we have been talking so much about the space, but you know, clearly this is also a cyber space which somehow allows us all, for us to be together, you know, like just be connected, which is truly like some sense of beyond time and space. It allows all of us to be together this very moment. And so I just wanted to welcome in this sacred space. And also I wanted to, this is an opportunity for everybody around the world to let you know that, you know, here in Virginia, we have this beautiful retreat center, and last few days I have been putting during all my extra free time, putting on many photos on Facebook, my Facebook. So probably, I don't know how many of you have seen or not, and I will encourage to become a friend on Facebook. and then also just shared so many photos. So many things happening the last couple of days. My wife, Zhang, she just became a new citizen, a citizen of America. It was a wonderful moment and a special moment, And also, we just had a celebration of His Holiness' birthday, 77th birthday. It was a great blessing. And annual auction. We're trying to raise money for Serenity Ridge here to keep up with everything here. And also, a nice entertainment, And every year, it's a different kind of entertainment we have. But every year, it seems like we can, improve some more. And so basically what I'm saying here is I really wanted to welcome everybody here, because this is a very special place, and this is where actually everything originated from here. And this is my home, and this is where I do the longest three-week retreat in one place, and a lot of opportunity to practice. And so I would like, even people are coming from long. We have people from everywhere. We have people from Finland. We have people from Singapore, Austria. We have people from Germany, Denmark, South Africa, Costa Rica. We have people from everywhere, and since we have like a three long week retreat, it's worth traveling also. So it's not just the weekend. So I really wanted to welcome everybody, and this retreat every year we have in June, July, some point in June and July. So this is also just kind of moment to everybody to connect together and also just discuss things, whatever going on in our Sangha and so on. So especially this year it was a great opportunity to we have different boards from international Ligmincha board members from different countries. So it was the first time we have this opportunity to share together, feel as one sense of Sangha, and also see what everything each person needs from different places, how we can help each other, particularly those who are in charge in a different Sangha in a different places. I encourage you very much, take it seriously, and this invitation is not just to say something here, it is a serious invitation. And so and I hope that next time you can make it. Okay, so this retreat, as far as this retreat is concerned, we said that we will talk a little bit about the sixth lamp. So this Serenity Ridge, this year Serenity Ridge and in Poland and two places since last year, Serenity Ridge and two places I have started the teaching of six lamps. We will be completing here and also completing in the next week, continuously next week in Poland. And so the sixth lamp, the teaching of the sixth lamp is from Zhang and Zhang is the most important and the principal sources of the Dzogchen teaching, which I have received personally from Lobby Sanji Tenzi, from my first teachers, who is also the teacher of Yongzi Rinpoche, Tenzin Rinpoche. So this teaching, basically all kind of my teachings are kind of coming from the source of Zhang, and we have taught different parts of it. There's something called very, very early stage in early 90s. I taught something called 6 essential points, and which is also very similar to 6 lamps. And then later we taught in Hemispring in New Mexico the 21 nails, and so now it's the 6th lamp. So the whole cycle of teaching, they are very much connected to each other. And so this particular teaching in the 6th lamp, idea of 6th lamp is, so it's lamp or the light there is no 6 lamp or 6 lights, so there is only one light, right? By now I think we are clear about that, right? Everybody's clear about that. So there is only one light, one lamp, and that one lamp, it seems like you're running around all the time. We feel like it's in the Gompa. Everybody comes from all over the world and trying to come here in Serenity. We think it's in somewhere around here. We look at around the Gompa, maybe certain point in the meditation we just catch it. And we just kind of feel it, and we're kind of enjoying it. We stay with it, and sometimes lasts for the rest of the 3 weeks. Sometimes it lasts only for 2 weeks. Sometimes it lasts for 1 day. Sometimes it doesn't even last for a whole day. And it seems to be running away somewhere, and then you have to wait for it another few days to come back, and kind of sitting in that pain body and kind of complaining with that pain speech and all this imagination of pain mind, and just waiting for light to show up again whenever it will show up. But then suddenly it shows up right in during the breakfast, or right during the dinner or something like that, or right in this simple walk, and it shows up, and you're just kind of amazed by it, how beautiful that presence of that light is within that during that walk, just where you can feel the quietness in the street, you can feel the running river, you can feel the breeze of air, you can feel the freshness of the air, you can feel the sunlight kind of reflecting through the trees. You basically see that light, everything you see, everything you feel, even the running of your breath, even the stream of your blood circulation, you feel it, that liveliness in every aspect of you. And then suddenly again it goes away. So that same light that comes in, goes away. We don't know when it's going to come. We don't know when it's going to go away. But clearly there are moments we catch it. Clearly there's a moment it's there with us. So that light, it's talking about 6 lamps. And the 6 lamp, the reason why 6 lamp, it's not what I just said about during the meditation it arises, and during the and then it loses, and then during the breakfast time it comes back, or evening walk it comes back. It's not that. Not that little transition. These 6 ones are a bigger transition. A transition between a life and death. So that light is also there moment you die. That's the 6th lamp. In the Pardo, that light will be fully there. Very bright, illuminating. It illuminates all the darkness that moment. That light is everywhere, right? For example, right this moment. If you look at it right this moment, no matter what time zone you are in, no matter what space you are in, externally, or no matter what internal space you are in, maybe you are so happy in your life, maybe you are so confused in your life. As far as that light is concerned, it does not distinguish us saying, I want you to take a break from this guy. Call me back when you are a little less confused. No, it's just fully with you. So it's everywhere. So the lamp of the abiding base, what we're talking, the first lamp, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Of course, when you say it's everywhere, you can look at around. Where is everywhere? Or you look at your right and you look at your left. You look at up and you can look at down. Or you're trying to close your eye. You're trying to feel the presence of that light. So it's everywhere. Second lamp we are talking about in the heart. So in our heart in the nature of heart itself is always open. There is a sacred space in it. And I think every culture, when we talk about opening heart, the openness of the heart, connecting from the heart, and feeling from the heart, seeing through the heart, being in the heart. Yes, we refer to that, the notion of heart, I think, only because we are referring to that space, that sacred space. When it opens for every emotion, it opens for every feelings, it opens for any relationship, it opens for any creativity, a genuine creativity. It's in the heart. So it's in the heart, it's in everywhere. So first one is everywhere, second one's in the heart, third one it's in the two soft channels from the heart to the eye. So basically, all the practices that we do, like a upward moving Zhang exercise, it's clearing that upward moving wind. So when you clear that upward moving wind, you feel your all the senses with upward moving wind exercise, all your senses becomes clear, and through the door of that clarity, there is this experience of light. If you draw attention inside during the exercises, especially with like a upward moving clearing exercise, it's there. So fourth lamp we're talking about in the eye. So in our eye, there's so much light in our eye. You press a little bit, you see those light. You look at a certain way, you see that light. You go into the dark room, you see that light. So those light that we see, or sometimes we just say, oh, these lights are not important, we see it, I used to see it when I was a child or something like that. But in this case, these lights are important, these lights are sacred. And so these lights are the light that something that we need to understand when we don't see a light in this particular situation, when we don't see a light in a particular person, one person who you have such a difficult time with, if you look at that person's face, you can see the same light, what you're seeing, just a little pressing your light, same light in that person, if you're open. You will see the same light when you press your little eye, and when you go into the dream, you can see the same source of light. When you die, these lights are coming. So, in some sense, it looks like that this pervasive light lamp, it allows us to connect everybody. We talk about, becoming a one, connecting with everybody, each with each other. So that first lamp, if you're trying to draw attention to that, it allows us to feel that oneness, but that connection through that light, rather than feeling one just because of connection through that pain. So when you talk about that in the heart, it's more like, there's a different kind of light. You connect, we build a relationship based on those connections. When we talk about the channels and movement, that seems like a light. That light is not paralyzed, but the that light exists through the movement and creativity. So it's not, I only have access to that light when I sit on the cushion. When I move my body, no light. When I move my mouth, no light. When I move my mind, no light. Only when I don't move these three things, only in the stillness I experience. It's not like that. It's in the movement. Channels means movement. That is what channel is for. It allows to move things, and things supposed to move. So then there's I, and then there is vision, like all the experiences of vision. So, for example, this very moment, if you look at in your life, what kind of life you have created, a current life, okay? Each one of you look, everything what you see, you feel, you interact, you're planning to create, everything. It's you. It's you who is creating it. If you feel that more space, if you feel that more light, if you feel that more warmth, that world, it will be different. It could be better. So if you look at yourself, if you look at around you, how good you are creating a problem, how good you are creating a pain, how good you are creating a conflict. Of course, I ask you, you will say, well, I'm quite a decent person. Everybody says that I'm quite a decent person. I don't create conflict. I am doing the productive and the right thing right way. Honestly, probably nobody will know. You have to know yourself. You only know yourself by self-reflecting, asking this question, am I really genuine? Or I'm playing here? If you ask that question, you know that. If you're playing, because if you're able to ask that question to yourself, they're more likely finding some answer. And most of the time, people are not even able to ask that question, but they believe they are genuine. They believe they're perfect. It's just the people around them are problem. I have a good intention, good motivation. There are specific people who are problem. And then if you look specific people who you really think problem, and sometimes it's not necessarily who they are. Sometimes what they did to you, or the way they look at you, or what they didn't do to you. Your opinion is very much based on your relation to them, and what you're trying to do, you think about is a productive, is a compassionate act or something like that. But if you look at yourself, you quite know clearly. So that's we don't call it light here. Light does not have a plan. So the world that you see this very moment, just each one of us, each one of you, you look at world that you see, how much space you see in that world, how much light you see in that world, how much warmth that you see in that world. That is a simple question. If you don't see so much space, if you don't see so much light, if you don't see so much warmth, then don't work so hard trying to fix it, or trying to bring more space or light and warmth out there with your pain, because that's only what you have. You have so much pain, and you're trying to create light outside. It's not going to work. So what you can do is just realize effort is not going to work. The only thing you can do is just go back in yourself. Not trying to fix people, trying to fix yourself. And the only way to fix yourself is not punish yourself, not get into depression, but turning yourself toward that inner refuge. Surrender yourself, give your power away, give your plan away, give your stress away. You said, take everything. Just take everything. No plan, no effort, no agenda, nothing. And because if you're in that situation, none of the things are going to work. So go inward to find it. As a practitioner, we are, as you know, as a practitioner, that's I think the right approach to do. As a practitioner, there's nothing to do. Just go inside, find that space. We say, go to the inside, find that inner refuge, find that space, find that warmth in yourself. Forget about everybody, everything, every situation. Because there's no way that we can affect the world if you don't feel those qualities. There's no way you can affect. You can see the ego has a great plan, but ego does not have any qualities. A skill, knowledge, the wisdom, it lacks all those qualities. It's not going to do it any good. And as a result of how you know that, you know you're suffering, you know how you're more suffering that you're creating. I think that's clear enough. If you recognize that, if you're suffering, if you're creating more suffering, then it's clear that it's not working. If you're trying to keep doing more what you're doing, you know where it might end up. You can have quite a good idea. So it's not a good thing. So just go back to find that place, and from that place you will find a new ways to see, new view you can find. You can find a new way to connect. You can find a new way to feel, so that new experiences will arise from that inner refuge. And so that is this last lamp is about the world, in a way, the world we have created. So this world that we have created, the world that we create in a dream world, the world that we might create in a pardo world, in the moment of the pardo. So this world, the dream world, and the pardo world, and meditative world. So you have like a moment of experiences during the meditation, beautiful meditation, when you are very much into that space. That is one world. We know, beautiful. It's a beautiful. We just feel like you can feel. You feel there tears coming out, tears of joys are coming out. You feel so open, you feel so safe, you feel so connected. Perfect. That's one world. And you wish that will be continue all the time, 24 hours and 7 days. The good news is possible. Possible. Then there is this world that we ordinarily live every day, every moment to moment we live. So we're trying to affect this very moment to moment life that we live with those principles. Then life, the dimension and the life that we have moment we go to sleep becomes unconscious. The whole this dream world, entire another world, and it has its own way of displaying its wisdom and clarity and neurosis and fears and all the things. And we're trying to work in that, which what we call a dream yoga practice. Then the last one we have in the Pardo. So the whole 49 days, 3 days, whatever the moment of disintegration of the element, dissolution of the element, moment, the intermediate state of clear light, moment arises, is whole another world experiences. So somehow, how to connect with all this world as a one world, because eventually they're going to connect. Each one of them is affecting another one. So that is the kind of practice. So 6 lamp means that light is all those 6 moments, 6 situations in our life. So that's what it is. Now the other thing is here I wanted to say a little bit is what I really feel is a lack of trust. And that lack of trust, of course, it starts very much within. So, and in the consequences of lack of trust, it seems like also creating a kind of strange phenomena, strange ideas. For example, when somebody is having a so beautiful experience, feeling so spacious, so connected, so much warmth in their heart, and next very moment after that experience, there will be a question saying, am I pulling myself? Is it real? Am I making it up everything, or is it real? How you can question such a beautiful, lively experience? Is it real? We are asked that question just because we are unlucky. And right after that, you might have experienced such a pain, so much confusion in your head, so much pain, and not only like 1 hour, it goes like hours, and afterward, you would not ask one moment of question saying, is this real? You totally trust that. This is real. Don't you think it's strange? Why we cannot change? That is a sign of lack of trust. So the first place to kind of build a sense of trust is within. So it's not about, we always talk about trusting somebody, trusting situation, trust. I think it's not so important to talk so much about trusting elsewhere, someone else. Do you trust yourself? For example, those of you are familiar with these teachings, we all know the moment when we feel that space, that lively space, that lively silence, that lively warmth, when we feel that. Can you trust that space? Means no doubt, no doubt. For example, who do you trust first to say? Is this the meaning of trust? Do you know the meaning of trust? Do you have a sense of trust? Do you trust somebody in your life? Or do you trust anybody? I'm not talking only a person. Do you trust God? Do you trust guardians? Do you trust angels? Do you trust nature? So the same way, do you trust that way? If there is any example of good trust, do you trust that in yourself, into that space? Of course, then question about what does the trust means? Like what a trust means to trust that space. That means, in terms of the event, that means you trust that space to clear. For example, if I have a problem, let's say I have a problem this moment, maybe I'm just trying to deal with my problem, and a moment I'm feeling good, the moment I'm feeling down, the moment I'm feeling hopeful, the moment I'm feeling just totally exhausted and hopelessness, and just I'm feeling going up and down and up and down, up and down. And in some sense, deep inside my sense, I know I can trust that space. I go into that inner refuge. Just doing it, feeling that stillness, remembering it, doing it, feeling that stillness, and finding that space, and being in that space, just being in that space. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, rest of the afternoon, maybe just before until go to sleep, maybe part of the sleep, maybe get up in the morning and just trying to reconnect with that space, just trusting that space that things will be fine. Do you trust? Or you feel you have to send that email to fix the problem? Or do you have to have that meeting to fix the problem? Or do you really have to show that person a good lesson? That person is such an evil. That person needed to learn a lesson. That person needed to be punished. And how I'm going to punish, maybe these are the ways, some of the possible ways to punish that person. Turning the chain of those negative thoughts to seeking a positive result. Do you trust that? Or you just trust just to retrieve from everything and go into that space and trust that things will clear? I'm not saying, as an individual, I don't consider myself as the person who runs away from the problem. I don't consider a person who is very passive, introverted. I'm very extroverted, I do a lot of things, make a lot of decisions, trying to change a lot of things. So of course I believe, in the teachings I've been saying lately, I believe very much that the decisions that we make in our life is very, very important key, because that's going to change. Decisions are going to change. In the world today, in the Western world, signing things, signatures. You can have 84,000 thoughts, but you cannot sign 84,000 times a day. You only sign few times. Those signatures does affect your life, because you commit something. You commit a work. You commit a finance. You commit whatever you commit. What you're agreeing on something. I do believe that these decisions are important, but where does the decision is coming from? That's more important. So when somebody is so confused, when somebody is so much into pain, somebody is so much disconnected, then better not to make any decision. But you're going to affect everybody. Wait to make a decision until you find that space, find that light, find that warmth, and it's there. So you have to know, you just have to go inside and find those things and not make a decision. Less that you do, the better it is. Every doing, you should feel enough confidence. I feel enough space. I feel enough light. I feel enough warmth. I feel enough clarity. I make a decision. Great. So trust, it seems like that going inward, trusting seems very, very little. I mean, I witness that all the time in the people. I listen to people. I listen to behaviors of people. He listens to questions of people. I feel I'm quite clear there's so much a lack of trust that, trusting there is something precious within us. Trusting that inner refuge, it has ability to clear the pain. It has ability to find the way. It has ability to find that light. It has ability to change the world, create the world. A spontaneous, effortless beauty of the natures are created from the force, that internal force. And every moment to moment, I mean, even the good health is spontaneous manifestation of that space light. Our bad health is the effortful creation of that distorted pattern of space and light. It's able to create everything. So trusting, like who we trust. We think about big government or big company, big corporation, big force of nature. There's a forces outside. We know they are powerful. They are a good way. They are powerful in a destructive way. We can trust them. We kind of trust their force, but internally we think about just meditation of emptiness. This nice fancy words of awareness, and how much you can trust there. Lack of trust. You know what I'm talking about? So, of course, in a way, how you can build a trust? What will be how you can build a trust? It seems like you can only build a trust if you witness something. You can say, well, this is what I do every day, every moment in my life. I go there. This is the best place for me to be. truly best place for me to be. This is the truly a best place to find our answer. This is the truly a best place to be a creative, a productive. It's like that, you know. Even you take a moments of walk in the mornings when you take a walk. I mean, you know, just it's not like a particular meditation. I mean, but not particular meditation like when you're sitting and in a 5-point posture, doing that. Not like nothing like that. But when you are walking in the nature, it's being in that space, being in that awareness, being in that warmth, and just in that space you can feel so much. Everything what is there, you can feel it. You can feel the liveliness of surrounding. You can feel the connection to the surrounding. The sounds that you'd never heard before you hear it. Smell that you never had before you begin to smell. The taste you never have before you begin to taste. You can feel the fullness of surrounding. And also, even the thoughts, like, oh, you know, like this incredible clarity, incredible thoughts, just pouring one after another. And you know, when you're confused, you don't have that feeling. When you are in the place of very discomforting place of workplace where you don't like, you don't have those creative thoughts. But in that space, it's a pouring. So it's such a rich, trusting that richness. So in the teaching, we're talking about, you know, a manifestation of three kaya in life, in the form, in actions. That's what it is. If you really feel, it speaks everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in everything. Do you open your eye and see that? See that light in everything? So that is, I think, what I feel like is something like a lack of trust within, lack of trust, the power of that space, lack of trust, the power of that light, lack of trust, the power of that warmth, lack of trust, the ability, what it can do, what it will make happen, lack of trust of that you can really genuinely find a solution in that place, lack of trust that it can really clear or resolve your problem. Yeah, those trust is missing. So I would strongly recommend you build that trust. And if you build the trust toward these aspect of practice and aspect of inner refuge, this is the way you're building trust toward yourself. You know, when you realize them, you say we realize self-realization. So you're building trust toward them, you build trust toward yourself. Therefore, and then you can also ability to trust other will come, because you know we know a lack of ability to trust others. In everybody's life, at some point in your life, you can see that there is a lack of trust to others. You know, a boss who lack of trust to giving responsibility to the employee. One family member, lack of trust to other person, hold back. Colleagues, lack of trust of giving information to each other. There is always the sense of lack of trust there. Of course, these trusts are not going to just resolve unless there is some sense of issue of trust resolved within. So clearly, once again, that is the place to work. So that's my strong, encourage to reflect oneself in order to, so trusting that light. That light is truly present everywhere in this moment. Everywhere that light is there, that light is in my heart, that light is in every channels in my body, every movement in my body. That light is in my breath, that light is through my sight, that light is through the what I see, that light is through my connection to people. It's like every place you just becomes, more you connect, the more you become alive through that light, just like that, internally. So anyway, we don't have so much time. I will maybe give few opportunity to ask questions from all the everywhere, cyber sangha. Okay. Since everybody here have been asking a lot of questions, so are you in the cyber sangha? Okay. Anybody?
Not yet, but I thought I'd take a moment to mention that two of our Sangha members, Lydia and Lourdes, are doing simultaneous translation right now.
Do you know also in France they're doing or not doing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
from
Well, Polly is just asking to mention that two of our Sangha members who, is translating, simultaneous translation in Italian and Spanish. And I know those who are listening, you know what I'm talking about.
And it is being translated into French, Zhang says.
Okay, so it is also translated into a French language. So there's a simultaneous translation in French, in Italian, in Spanish. If any other there's a translation, please let us know. Or if any other planning to translate, also let us know. Yeah, Lourdes has been doing quite some time, yeah. Okay, so maybe I'll give some, while the cyber people thinking about the question, if anybody, yeah, yes.
I don't have a question, Rinpoche, but I just wanted to share an experience that really tells me how much this trusting inner refuge works.
Is it possible, Polly, you can, camera will be complicated. Okay, that's fine. I'll repeat.
I didn't plan anything. I didn't plan that to have a pacemaker placed in May 21st. But so when my cardiologist told me that I needed a pacemaker, before I made the decision, I didn't want to have it. Then I went into inner refuge. And inner refuge, all the practice, while I was in the hospital, I was also there because I was in the emergency room. Even though I was informed by my cardiologist that I needed a pacemaker, I did not want it. But then I had to go to ER because I was then when I went to ER, I already went through my practice. All the time that I was kept in the hospital, I was in the inner refuge from that time and to the time that I had a surgery, I was very calm. After the surgery, I had questions whether I should have had it. Then I just went back to the inner refuge that I said, I heard from the inner refuge that I should have it. And it's the best thing that I did. And because I'm really feeling a big difference.
Thank you.
So here's a question from Slaven 2. It says, is compassion possible without sadness and sorrow?
Compassion.
Is compassion
Compassion is possible without sadness and sorrow. Yeah, compassion, it's possible without sadness, sorrow. Yes, for people who, let's say, for Buddhas, enlightened beings, they have a compassion, they don't have a sorrow and pain. So the possibility is for sure it's there. If compassion is possible for me or you without sorrow and pain might be difficult. Some sense the ability to have compassion is very much based on empathy. Empathy is very much based on a recognition of pain within yourself. When you recognize somebody else's pain, you're recognizing that pain within you, and that helps. Perspective that helps. So sometimes so basically, it's very much the empathy is very much based on compassion, and empathy is for us ordinary people. I think it's very difficult to not to feel pain or sorrow towards somebody. No, that makes sense.
We have another question. Dear Rinpoche, so if we are confused with a situation in our life, do you recommend not making a big decision unless we trust our space and light? The less that we do, the better, until we are able to trust that?
Yeah, so question about is that, making important decisions or difficult decisions in life not to do unless we trust that space inside. So is it better to not make a decision? I think that is, generally speaking, it's a difficult question to ask. Every circumstances might be different to different people. But one thing, if you look at, if the decision is coming from the openness, a genuine sense of openness, a decision is coming from that, a warmth, that really like feeling from that light, warmth from that light. If it's coming from there, then I think it's okay to make a decision. If the decision is very much based on that fear and pain and confusion, and there is an urgency to make a decision because of the deadline or something like that, personally, I'm not sure how I would do it. More likely I will not make a decision. I'll just demand more time if I have to. I will not make a decision. But on the other hand, there are also, when your heart is so open, you feel so much warm, you feel fearless, basically, you feel fearless. It's okay, you give a space. You give a space for somebody's error. Because if somebody did something wrong, for me, it's like, if somebody did something wrong, my really focus is not what they did wrong. Of course, do I care about something did wrong? Yes, I do care. But is that my focus? No, not at all. I don't feel like that. What I feel in those, if it's a situation, my goal is how that will not happen again. How to support to the next person to not to get into that confusion again, to support that. So that means focus is clearly toward making some plan, to support that. So, and not focus on that negativity there. So in order to do that, I think if you feel more space, I feel more I can do that. If I don't feel space, I don't look so much into the futures and clarity as to what good can happen. I'm so much focused on what bad happened in the past. There's no future for me then. There's no future for any organization. There's no future for any country. If you keep on focusing back on what went wrong and who did wrong, all the wrong things, I think, so I think it's very much depends on a situation to situation. And personally, I know many situations decisions that I might have to make and I did not make. I just said, okay, if I'm demand to make a decision, I don't make a decision. I just trying to feel that. As I'm teaching, that's what I try to do. So I'm not trying to teach something and do something different. And what I feel is much more valuable to take time and space, Then sometimes situation happens, I clearly see what decision need to be made. Sometimes I'm laughing myself why I bother to think about these old issues. Not only I'm happy I did not make any decision, I'm just surprised myself why I'm engaging altogether with this whole crazy thing. Yes.
There's another question here. So he's asking, these teachings are Dzogchen teachings in a totally different way that can reach more into our hearts. Can you comment on how you had reached this synthesis, how you created this way of teaching, this methodology?
Which methodology?
A simpler way of teaching Dzogchen teaching that reaches our hearts more easily.
Well, so what is it, the question? So is it like a Dzogchen teaching is a little more complicated? I'm teaching a little more simple, how I came up with this simple way? More like, okay, well. That I think is a good question. So the question is, it looks like a very complex, the teaching of Dzogchen. And so how I came up with kind of talking simple way. Well, I can just say because Dzogchen teaching has arrested me in my life since age 13, long enough to hear many, many, many thousands of hours from my teacher, thousands of hours of practices, and thousands of hours as a teacher, as a reflecting on those things. It just became simpler, simpler, and simpler, simpler. And not only that, let me tell you one thing, not only the way I teach to others, most importantly, that's how I feel. That's how I feel, that's how I conclude my life. I think that's probably more important to know. If you're thinking, he's wonderful teaching, I love his teaching, but he must be keeping something secret to himself, that's the most important one. Honestly, there's nothing. What I'm saying, this is it. This is it. That's why I'm saying, you get it, this is it. If you don't get it, I'm sorry for you. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Several good questions here. One is, my friend asked me why is there suffering and why do so many experience suffering in this world? Do we have to experience suffering in order to learn or grow?
So question is why there is so much suffering in this world, and is suffering is necessary for us to learn. Why there is so much suffering? First of all, I don't know if there's more suffering now than 100 years ago or not. For sure, there's a different kind of suffering. At that time, there's no breaking of computer, no parking sufferings, no lawsuit sufferings, and no document signings, no paperwork, like files, suffering of filing things. There's a lot of suffering that we have for sure, much more, But the basic sufferings is kind of always there. Most sophisticated sufferings, right now. So suffering is there, so much there. I think for sure that we create more and more different kind of sufferings. If you think about some of the suffering pain that we have now, if you talk about 100 years ago, they will laugh about it, right? Or not even don't go 100 years ago. I always have this image of making a short film about a nomadic person who have never been out in the world, and a very modernized person, like with all these gadgets and living a life of very complexity, and to see, looking at their suffering, what kind of suffering this person has and what kind of suffering that person has, and just parallel, they just going back and forth. Will be a great movie, If then in the end they bring them together to trying to talk about, share their sufferings, they will not understand each other. I said, why? What do you have a problem? So that's I think we create a lot unnecessary. Why we create lot and more complex? It's just as we like complexity. We like complexity. You know, I mean, if you're trying to teach something in a simple way, they feel there's something missing. If I teach something very complicated, half of the thing that I don't understand what I'm talking about, and they feel like they feel great, great, and it was very sophisticated teaching he did. Well, I just see it's a pure samsara, I just then I don't understand why somebody's happy to begin with. But why somebody's happy? Because they didn't get anything, they didn't understand anything. So not understanding part exciting for them, or trying to understand was exciting for them, or thinking there is something to understand in that confusion was very exciting for them. People are like that. If something is just, if you open everything and just right here, this is here, they don't. So can we learn something from our suffering? Yes, clearly we can learn. I mean, that is, Buddha has learned, Bodhisattvas have learned, we can learn, we can all learn, we are all encouraged to learn. Do you learn? Have you learned? Are you learning? Ask that question to yourself. How many sufferings, pain you have wasted? How many pain you have turned into a path? How many pain made you grow into who you are today? You ask those questions to yourself. Possibility is there. Yeah. Last one.
Last question. Zadi says, will you speak more about surrender in the refuge place?
So we just say a few words more about surrendering yourself in a refuge, in a refuge, So, for example, in the moment when you are so confused and trying to find some solution, and there's so confusion, so much pain, and more you're trying to do, say, think, makes it worse. And you see it making it worse. The more you do, it becomes worse. More you say, it becomes worse. More you think, it becomes more confusing. Not only in you, it creating to others. Unfortunately, that's the worst part. If you are in that place, you surrender yourself. You say, that the one which in me who's trying to control, I give up. I let go. I let go. I let go to control. I let go to trying to change. Even I have a good motivation, good intention, I'm thinking in a good way, hoping good things. It's not working. I let go of my ego. I let go of that thought. I surrender. Where you surrender? To inner refuge. To in that space, you let those thoughts dissolve into that space. You just the moment you let go of them, you find a peace. You find calmness. You find comfort. As we're saying, the water, if you don't shake it too much, gradually it will find its clarity. And probably the truth is, you're benefiting more others. Maybe you're creating more chance of success by not doing anything, not saying anything, than doing things, saying things. And it's important to recognize, I cannot say to each person saying when that time is right time. And we all need to recognize when that time is right time for yourself. You trust that you can do that. Your ability to recognize that moment, you trust yourself, and then that moment you surrender everything. I mean, that's what we do. In Tibetan, there is an expression which say "konchok chen." Konchok chen means, the three jewel. I don't know what this is the right word or not, but you say No doubt. How you would say in English, Laura? There's any particular expression of in a word like in Tibetan we say "konchok chen." Basically saying, means I'm not going to control. I'm not going to do anything. You do it. but you're saying that in that space and that trusting that inner sacred space and awareness. So when you do that, it's great fun. It's great releasing. Okay? Thank you very much. So I, maybe just closing statement here. This way, what we're doing here, teaching in the Gompa and just connecting with everybody else. And of course, I know myself, it's not very normal, and I can also see everybody else, okay, I don't know he's talking to us or to everybody else, or, I don't know where we fit in. I'm just joking. So somehow it's kind of absolutely not normal for us to doing this, but I think there's so much advantage in this technology to making it great use, and I know that there are many people who have come through online and things like that. Many people have benefited so much. So I definitely, they're trying to do more, from the Gompa, and probably one day maybe, I don't know, maybe we can lead whole retreat from here, So everything is possible. So, but I also encourage that that our connection, the media connection that we have. I know some people have a lot of problems with the Facebook, other people go crazy with the Facebook and things like that, but welcome to that world, so I'm fearlessly inviting everybody, and it's not a replacing anything, it's another extra connection, just sharing what's going on here, and or where I'm doing something and not doing something. It's my way of informing things, just keeping a little bit of contact, and I hope it becomes more frequently that I could share more thoughts and rather than setting up camera, lighting, this time, that schedule, just airport, just turn on, just share thoughts. I would like to more frequently able to do those things. So just keep in touch. Okay, thank you. I will do dedication.